What's up, people? Welcome back to the channel. So today we are reacting to a video on the news. They said Fearless Fund CEO on racial discrimination. Okay, so guys, let's just dive into this video.
Escalating fight over diversity in business. It involves the Fearless Fund, which is the first venture capital fund built by women of color for women of color. According to the fund, just 0.39% of venture capital funding goes to businesses started by women of color. The Fearless Fund was founded in 2019 to help close that gap by providing funding and support to Black female founders.
But now it's facing a lawsuit by the American Alliance for Equal Rights. That's a group founded by the conservative activist who was behind the effort to end affirmative action in college admissions. Now, this suit alleges that the fund's Fearless Strivers Grant Contest is, quote, their words, a racially discriminatory program that blatantly violates the Civil Rights Act's guarantee of race neutrality because its $20,000 grant prizes are only open to Black women. We are joined now by Fearless Fund co-founder and CEO. Her name is Ariane Simone. This is her first interview since a lawsuit was filed against her company. Good morning to you, Ariane Simone. Good to have you here at the table.
Good morning. Thank you for having me.
So what was your first thought when you heard that you and your partners were being sued?
My initial thought, I didn't think that this was real, but once I realized that it was, I was aware that it was definitely an attack to dismantle and address our economic freedom as people of color. But I knew the moment it happened that we would continue to do the amazing work that we do.
You didn't think it was real. What did you think it was? What did you think?
When the emails came through, I honestly thought it was ChatGPT.
You did?
Yes.
You thought maybe you were being punked somehow?
Yes.
So now that you know that it is real, what's your response? What are you all planning to do?
Oh, our response is simple. We plan to continue to do the work that we do for women of color. As you stated before, women of color are the most founded entrepreneurial demographic. They are just the least funded.
Why do you think that is? I mean, when I read the number, Ariane, I thought I was reading it wrong because the number was so low. Less than 1%.
Yes, fraction of a percent.
Yes.
I think even beyond racism and sexism, there is something called proximity. The investors in the venture capital field, 92% of them are white male. I'm a strong believer that if we can diversify the investors, we can diversify the investments.
Now, we mentioned that number, 0.39%, and some may listen and say, well, that's something. But according to the fund, in 2022, capital firms deployed $288 billion. So that fraction of 1%, it doesn't make sense when it comes to Black women being funded. I never really understood how someone who had a head start in the race would look at those behind them and try to trip them up. What is your message to those that are looking to trip you up?
Oh, our message is clear. Our corporate partners stand by us. MasterCard, Bank of America, Ally Bank, JP Morgan Chase, and many others.
What have you heard from them?
Oh, we've been in touch with all of our investors. They stand by their DEI programs. They stand by their commitments that they've made post-George Floyd to the Black community. They are in agreement with the work that they have done and the work they are doing with us.
Ariane, what do you, however admirable what do you say to people who say, look, however admirable your goal, however necessary the work you're doing, the law is just not on your side. The law says racial discrimination is bad in all contexts.
And then people argue it still is not fair.
Well, it's definitely, I would say, unfortunate that things can be twisted. I can't get into the details of the lawsuit, but what I can say that certain laws were definitely put in place to offer economic freedom for people of color, and somehow things can be getting misconstrued.
What are you hearing? Oh, go ahead, Tony.
I was just going to say that the part of the reason why this conservative activist, Edward Bloom, is pursuing this is because he just won this big affirmative action case. Yes. In which he got a ruling from the Chief Justice, written by the Chief Justice of the Supreme Court, in which he says eliminating racial discrimination means eliminating all of it. This kind of program that you have, quote, demeans the dignity and worth of a person to be judged by ancestry instead of merit.
Well, the problem is this program wouldn't even exist if there wasn't a need for it. The reason why the program exists is due to the racial disparities that exist in venture capital.
What are you hearing, or what have you done for the businesses? What do the businesses say that you've invested in so far? Because, Ariane, when I heard $20,000, I went, well, that may not seem like a lot of money, but it can be a game changer, can it not, for some of these
A great
female
launch
business.
pad.
Yes.
Most definitely. At our foundation, we have awarded over 356 grants, sizes between $10,000 and $20,000. And yes, that's definitely a game changer. It helps with cash flow management, it helps with product creation, it can launch job creation, and much more. But in addition to our grants, we are also investors at our Fearless Fund, our investment vehicle. We have deployed over $26.5 million, invested in 41 companies, average check sizes between $500,000 and $1.2 million. Most definitely, this capital is making an impact.
Too bad you're not prepared with the receipts. Your company
She
does.
got the receipts, Gail.
Yeah, I see.
And it's
more than just black women, isn't
Yeah.
it? Just
That is correct.
It's more
We
than
invest
just
in
black
women of color. So
Yeah.
we have Latina founders, Asian founders, yes.
And it's not just financial assistance. There's also tools that you give. So what advice do you give to women of color that are thinking about taking that leap? Because, you know, that jump can be scary,
Yes.
especially if you don't know where you're going to land.
Most definitely. It's not just a lack of access to capital, it's a lack of access to resources and the ecosystem as a whole. And we have our annual tentpole event that takes place on August 18th in Atlanta, Georgia, our Fearless Venture Capital Summit. And there we educate over 2,000 women of color co-founders on how to grow and scale their business.
Is there a part of you
Erin, I
that's
know-
worried about the lawsuit? Because listen, I don't care who you are. You hear the word lawsuit, and it does give you pause.
And it's
doubt.
expensive to fight a lawsuit.
Yes, yes.
Most definitely, which is why we are definitely getting the support of others through fearlessfreedomnow.org. People can join the fight with us. But am I scared? No, I am fearless.
You clearly are going to fight this lawsuit. You're going to win this
Yes.
lawsuit?
Oh, most definitely.
All right. Erin Simone, thank you very much.
Thank you.
Appreciate you being here.
Okay, she is actually fearless. Okay, honest review. Before I watched this video, I was like, yes, why would she have a organization to sponsor just black women? Well, if that was on the other side, like sponsoring just white women, because everybody would see it as racism. So of course it's normal to see it as racism. But then after watching it today, to some point I realized, I am not sure, I don't know, please leave your comment, let me hear your views as well. They say that black people are not so privileged, like white people always get the privilege. Okay, so I kind of like understand why this organization is formed, and if the main goal is to support black women, if the government cannot do so much, I think they should let individuals who want to do it, organizations who want to do it for other black women community, I think they should just let them be, not fight them, or see a way to work around it and work on their own paths that doesn't give black people the privilege. They should work on their own path and make it more flexible. So if they make it more flexible, I think everything is all right. So these are just my views. Let me know what you think in the comment section about this video, and we'll see you guys on our next video. Don't forget to like. Bye.